So I got a really good question, and one that I kind of was confused on as well, about the astaxanthin and the zeaxanthin and lutein, if they're the same. Obviously they sound very familiar and they're both carotenoids, but no, they are not the same. So astaxanthin is the red pigment. This one is found in marine animals, so like shrimp, you can find it in salmon. That's where they get their color. Also like other little microorganisms. So the lutein and the zeaxanthin, those are the yellow pigments, and you find the yellow pigments in vegetables and fruits like carrots, some like yellow bell peppers, things like that. It's really interesting because like they're both carotenoids, they're both antioxidants, and they both capture free radicals, and like it's the free radicals that do all the damage to our skin. And so when I was looking more into this, you know, the cool thing about it is like they both prevent like some cardiovascular diseases, some neurological diseases, but also like they protect our skin from sunlight. Not only sunlight, it's like UVA, UVB, and blue light rays. So they are on the list of internal sunscreen, but you are still recommended to still wear external sunscreen, even if you are on these. When it comes to free radicals, basically like the free radicals, especially the ones that come from the sunlight exposure, like basically those are what people are saying are responsible for our skin aging, for us like, you know, losing the volume, the suppleness of our skin, and our skin getting dry and just, you know, just kind of gross. Basically the free radicals just break down our DNA, also our protein, and the fats that are naturally in our skin. And so like the umbrella term for this process is just photooxidative damage. So if you ever see photooxidative damage, now you know that's just when the sunlight's rays break down our DNA and our proteins and our fats that are naturally in our skin cells when we're not wearing sunscreen or taking internal sun blockers. What happens when that happens? Basically, like our skin cells can't make new skin cells. Well, they can't make healthy new skin cells, so there will always be that damage. Also, UVA rays in particular, those break down our collagen, and you guys know we are born with quite a bit of collagen. The older we get, our stores start just depleting. That's why it's really important to start supplementing. If you're in your 20s, just start now. Like there's no need to like wait until like you're already like you're already starting to see the change. Like start now. So when we talk about a little more about like just carotenoids in general, so the astaxanthin, the zeaxanthin, lutein, those, like when we supplement them or we're eating foods with them, like that stuff is actually, like the carotenoid is actually deposited in our skin, and it's basically protecting our skin, especially when we're in the sunlight for like a large period of time. I will mention that most of the studies done with both the zeaxanthin and the astaxanthin, they're using like 10 to 20 milligrams of the carotenoid. Also, any study that you see, like if you want to use this as like an internal sun blocker, the people who were in the studies, they were using it for at least 8 to 10 weeks, meaning that they were on this for 8 to 10 weeks, and I'm wondering if it takes that long for it to build up in our cells. I'm assuming our cells start to store it, and that's why, especially with the zeaxanthin and the lutein, that's why it's actually able to lighten your skin, because it's building up and it's being able to be stored, and kind of what happens with glutathione. So I thought that was really interesting, because like there's this one website and they're just like, people were taking it for like 8 to 10 weeks before they were using it as like an internal sun blocker. So don't just start on it for a couple days and then like go out to the beach and be like, oh, I'm gonna be fine. Another thing, the clinical study, especially on like 10 milligrams of the lutein and the zeaxanthin, which wherever you find lutein, you usually find zeaxanthin. So those are both, they're kind of like a group thing. They're not the same, but for most of these supplements, you're gonna find both of them. Like only 10 milligrams like made the skin more hydrated. Also, it made it more like elastic, so you had less wrinkling, because like when our skin is dry and it's not able to like snap back, that's when you start to get the sagging, the wrinkling, and yeah, just damaged skin. Also, I think it upped like the skin lipid content, which lipids are just like fat, and it's like this natural barrier our skin makes, and that's what keeps in our moisture and our hydration, so you don't have, you know, dry, broken skin. Which when that skin is like really dried out, it gets really taut, and that's when it starts cracking, and you'll have more issues with wrinkles later on if this goes on for like large periods of time, and it's not cute. It's not cute. So when we go to Astaxanthin, I think they have that one brand, it's like Hawaii's Astaxanthin, and this is the one that has the red pigment, so you're gonna find this in shrimp and salmon, stuff like that. People still tan on that. I noticed a lot of people in the comments, especially doing like reviews on it, that they're able to tan without burning. So there's some stuff on it that says that it prevents too much melanin, but basically people are still able to tan on this, so don't think that it's going to completely protect you or block you. Also understand that if you are supplementing it, there were some side effects of basically someone had like a reddish tint to their skin. So I mean, that is something that could happen. You know, it was just basically, they said it was a slightly red color, but it wasn't as bad as like taking a high dose of beta carotene. But I guess this person was taking a high daily dose of astaxanthin, and yeah, in the study their skin was more red in color. Also, like the side effects of the astaxanthin, it was like more bowel movements, red stool color. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. Okay, maybe not, maybe. Yeah, red stool color, which is kind of what happens with like our liquid chlorophyll. Though liquid chlorophyll gives me like more of a yellow glow, but it makes the stool green. Where was I going with this? Oh, in high doses, really high doses of astaxanthin can cause like stomach pain. There was one website, it was like a Filipino website, and they were saying that astaxanthin is still used, like it can lighten dark spots, but like I don't know. It just said that basically it'll prevent too much melanin, but guys, we still have people that are able to tan on this, so I wouldn't completely rely on this. I would still stay out of the sun. Even if it slows down some like overproduction of melanin, I mean, you should still be taking other things. Also, everyone was still taking external sunscreen. Like, so in most of the studies, they were still using external sunscreen. They weren't just relying just on astaxanthin. Now it comes to lutein and zeaxanthin, remember this is like the really yellow fruits and vegetables, yellow and orange, so even like carrots. Very large doses of these carotenoids basically cause like it's carotenodermia, and basically it's just like a yellow skin tint, a yellow to orange skin discoloration. The lutein and zeaxanthin by themselves can block the formation of melanin pathways, so it also sounds like it slows it down. I just felt like I came away from this thinking that the lutein and the zeaxanthin does more when it comes to the skin. There was more on it with like skin lightening than the astaxanthin. That's just what I found. Obviously, if you take either of these you go lay out in the sun, like you're still going to tan basically. So when it comes to side effects of the lutein and the zeaxanthin, there was one side effect of like the skin yellowing, and yeah, that was it. So if you're interested in adding one of these to your regimen, you know, one is more reddish pink and the other is more yellowish to maybe a little orange. But mostly I think it's the lutein and the zeaxanthin is mostly like a yellowish tint. Also, you could get that from the liquid chlorophyll, but remember, liquid chlorophyll is not, like, as soon as you stop taking the liquid chlorophyll, even within like 48 hours, you start to lose that glow. With the lutein and the zeaxanthin, I don't know how long it stays, but I'm assuming longer than just like 24 hours. But I could completely be wrong.